Jesus has left the region of Judea, and now we come to verse 5 of the 4th chapter of John's Gospel, in which we find Jesus heading through Samaria, kind of an unusual route to take. Normally, Jewish people would avoid Samaria. They go on the east side of the Jordan at some considerable inconvenience just to make sure they did not pass through. But Jesus, we learn in the previous verse, was bound to do so. He had to do so. He needed to do so, it's sometimes rendered. And so here we come now to verse 5, where the story of the Samaritan woman is introduced. Erketai. This is from erkomai, I come. This is the third person singular deponent verb. He comes, un, therefore, that's present, by the way. He comes, therefore, eis polen, into a city or town. Of course, you know the word polis, Greek word for city, metropolis, for example, borrows from that. Politics, other words in the English language rely on that particular term. So he comes into a city, Polen, tes Samareas, a city, tes of Samaria, genitive case. Legomenein, this is a participle. It's in the accusative because it's going with the city, which is in the accusative. So he comes into a city that is being called. Present participle, called, or goes by the name of Sakar. Probably Sukar, we might say, if we're just going to pronounce it according to the Greek here that we have before us. This has been a bit of a question as to where exactly this city was. Some have thought maybe it was a reference to Shechem, which really wouldn't make a lot of sense, and some have actually accused John of making an error here if he meant Shechem, but it's more likely that he had a different town in mind, not a major town, but one that was certainly known. He has to give some explanation of it here in order to clarify it. There is a town actually in that region to this day that goes by a similar name, and it may very well be the same town that's in view here. So he comes to a town of Samaria, which is called Sukar. Plesion means near. It's a adjective. It takes the genitive. So near the country or the region or the plot of ground, probably more koriu, genitive case, near the plot of ground, the piece of ground. Ho, relative pronoun, which, accusative case. Edoken, from didomi, I give. This is the aorist, passive indicative, third person singular, which he gave, namely Jacob, in the nominative case, which Jacob gave, to Yasoph. This is the dative, so Jacob gave this plot of ground to Joseph, and then in apposition to that, to Huio, out to, the son of him. So Jesus, as he's traveling into and through Samaria, comes to this town, which happens to be near a plot of ground that was known from the Old Testament history. You can read about it in Genesis, the latter chapters of Genesis in the Old Testament, in which Jacob gave to Joseph his son this particular plot. And that's, of course, where the drama involving the woman of Samaria is going to play out.